Okay, let's just dive right in. Have you ever stopped to wonder why your body can suddenly decide that something totally harmless, like a peanut or a bit of pollen, is a mortal enemy? Well, today, we're going to unpack the wild, ancient reason you might have allergies.
I love this quote because it just perfectly nails the sheer, baffling overkill of an allergic reaction. I mean, sure, the spider's gone, but hey, so is your entire house. It's this complete and total mismatch between the threat and the response.
And that's the central mystery, isn't it? One minute you're enjoying a meal, maybe something you've eaten 1,000 times before, and the next, your own body is trying to kill you. So what is going on? Why does our incredibly sophisticated immune system get things so catastrophically wrong?
Well, believe it or not, the answer probably isn't found in our modern world at all, but deep in our evolutionary past. It's very possible that we're having these insane reactions today because of an enemy we defeated a long, long time ago. So to understand what's happening right now, we need to take a trip back in time. We need to meet the monster that our immune system was originally built to fight.
See, for almost all of human history, being infected with parasitic worms wasn't just a possibility, it was a certainty. In a world without modern sanitation, the cycle was basically unbreakable. And we're not talking about tiny bacteria here. From the perspective of your cells, these worms were like giant city-sized monsters, like kaijus. So your immune system needed to evolve some seriously heavy artillery just to have a fighting chance. And to fight these monsters, your body developed a highly specialized military unit. So, let's meet the soldiers.
The first time your body detects one of these worms, it kicks off a very specific chain of command. Think of it like this. Scout cells spot the giant monster. They report back to headquarters, which then activates these little factories called B cells. These factories start churning out a unique weapon, something called IgE antibodies. These antibodies then flood your whole body and attach themselves to the real heavy hitters, the mast cells.
Now, these mast cells are enormous immune cells. They're basically walking chemical bombs, just packed to the brim with histamine. Once those IgE antibodies latch on, they become, and this is a great description, angry hedgehog grenades, with the safety pins already pulled out, just waiting for a target.
So the moment one of these armed mast cells makes contact with a worm, it detonates. It unleashes this absolute storm of chemicals that attacks the worm directly, causes massive inflammation to try and flush it out, and sends out an emergency signal calling in even more anti-parasite soldiers to the battlefield. It is total war. This brutal system worked beautifully for millions of years. But then, in what is just a blink of an eye in evolutionary terms, everything changed.
For millions of years, we were locked in this constant arms race with worms. Then, just a couple of hundred years ago, we invented soap, sanitation, clean water. We broke the worm's life cycle. And the ancient enemy that shaped our immune system, well, it just vanished.
So you've got this hyper-aggressive hair-trigger army that's been trained for millennia to fight giant monsters. And then, all of a sudden, there are no more monsters. Do you think that army just peacefully retires? Yeah, not exactly. An unemployed army gets bored. And a bored army starts looking for new enemies, even if they aren't really there.
And this right here, this is the critical mistake. It doesn't matter if the body detects proteins from a parasitic worm or proteins from a harmless shrimp, the anti-parasite army follows the exact same playbook. It produces IgE, it arms the mast cells, and it prepares for all-out war. To the immune system, there is literally no difference in the response.
And that is an allergic reaction. It's not some new disease, it's an ancient defense system, an incredibly powerful weapon, completely misfiring. It's launching its kaiju-killing arsenal against your own tissues because it mistakes a tiny food protein for its ancient, giant enemy.
You know, every single symptom of an allergy is actually a weapon that was designed to fight a worm. Leaky blood vessels that were meant to flush them out, you feel that as itchy hives. Muscle contractions to expel a parasite from your gut, well, that's cramps and diarrhea. And that swelling that was supposed to block a worm's path, that's what makes it so hard to breathe.
And the speed is just terrifying. The system is designed for a rapid, overwhelming response. Think about it. The deadliest diseases can take days to kill you. Your own immune system, in a state of anaphylactic shock, can do it in under 5 minutes.
So, the worm theory is a really compelling explanation for the mechanism of allergies. But, as with most things in science, it's probably not the whole story.
Researchers are also looking at other aspects of our modern, hyper-clean lives.
Things like having less diverse gut bacteria, increased exposure to pollution, and of course, genetic predispositions. They all seem to play a role in why some people develop allergies and others don't. But what we can see so clearly is this trend. As we've moved into more and more sanitary conditions over the last century, the rates of allergies and autoimmune diseases have just skyrocketed. The decline of our old enemies seems directly correlated with the rise of this new internal conflict. Which leaves us with a fascinating paradox. One of public health's greatest achievements, freeing ourselves from parasitic worms, may have inadvertently unleashed our own immune system upon ourselves. So the question now is, how do we retrain an ancient army for a world without monsters?